Hello everybody, this is of course Nick back on the Get Me Off Grid video blog, and it's wonderful to be here. Okay, going to talk today about fermentation. This particular fermentation run is almost completed. Now I can tell it's almost completed because the rate of carbon dioxide production is going down. Yes, it is still bubbling inside, but we're almost there. So this has demonstrated to me that yes, you can actually use a regular bread yeast, which can cost 1/6 the price, depending upon where you shop, of a beer or wine yeast to ferment that quantity of sugar solution. Yes, I did use rather a lot of nutrient to try and speed up the process, and hopefully that's obviously going to help for this particular run. Maybe the next one I will try without nutrient, and to see whether a regular bread yeast can actually do the work all by its little self without the need for an extra nutrient to increase the efficiency and speed of the fermentation. Okay, so that's one great way of cutting down the production of alcohol for fuel processes, for fuel purposes, and I'm glad that that has been proven true and accurate. But I want to discuss sterilization today, because you've got to sterilize or kill all the germs in the fermentation bucket, because there is a competition going on inside it between the various different forms of microorganisms. Now, you can't escape germs. They're everywhere, okay? You just can't escape them. But you want to try and give the yeast the best fighting chance that you can, and for that reason you typically use a chemical sterilizer like sodium metabisulfate or a similar solution for the purposes of killing all the germs, so that you have much more opportunity for the yeast to take hold and get a good healthy fermentation going. If you don't sterilize, you are most likely going to provide the bacteria and other pathogens more of a ability to win the competition. Bacteria breeds about 6 times more than yeast does, or something crazy like that. So that's why you need to try and keep the production of other forms of microorganisms down. Now you can see on top of the bucket there, I've put my ultraviolet sterilization wand. Now the reason I've put that there is because I'm planning on using it for the next fermentation run. This is comparatively affordable version of the ultraviolet UVC sanitizing wand, which is used to kill germs around the house. Alright, some people use it over fruit and vegetables to extend the life of fruit and vegetables by 2 days. It's also used in places where you just want to maintain good hygiene. Okay, I've used it last summer when the relative humidity was basically off the scale for reasons known only to the weather forecasters. Okay, and there was a bit of a mold problem, and it helped to cut the mold down in various key locations in the flat. This winter, the relative humidity has gone right down, so essentially there hasn't been any real growth of spores, molds, funguses, and the rest of that inside the place, so that's perfectly okay. But I was thinking that I could use that as a cheaper means of sterilizing the bucket. Now, according to the combination of websites plus information that you can download or read about these particular devices, it can take 2 whole minutes for you to kill the germs on a toilet seat, for instance. I'm assuming that's underneath and on top. Alright, so the quantity of time it would take to use radiation, ultraviolet C, not ultraviolet A or ultraviolet B, but ultraviolet C radiation, to do the inner walls of this fermentation bucket. This is a 25 litre 5 gallon bucket, okay, would take quite a long time. But on the other hand, it's only using 4 AA batteries, and these days round here you can go to a pound shop or 99p stores or B&M or similar budget stores and get batteries very cheaply. You can get 8 for about £1. So that might do for 2 or more sterilizations of, well, actually a hell of a lot more than that, sterilizations of a bucket of that size. So that would do the inner walls, but it wouldn't necessarily do the floor of the bucket. So what I could try and do for the floor of the bucket on the inside is to use some of the existing bioethanol to kill any latent rubbish that might be hanging around. Alright, obviously my homemade bioethanol is 85 to 94% alcohol by volume, so that should be enough to kill all the germs. So I'm planning on doing the next sterilization without chemicals and just using alcohol and ultraviolet light. which would probably be quite good. Obviously, when the summer comes, I can use a solar battery recharger, and therefore the power for the batteries which go into the ultraviolet wand could also be greatly reduced still further. Alright, now the imperative behind lowering the cost is because if you think about it, commercially available bioethanol is sold per litre depending upon the volume that you're getting. If you're making it at home, you want to cut down the cost per litre, so essentially you want to try and cut down the cost of production. That is part of my plan here. Okay, just wanted to let you know where things were. But very soon I'll do a short video getting out the distiller and showing you all that wonderful highly combustible bioethanol being produced. Speak to you soon.